All right. I want to take a second and talk about the biggest gaming event of the year in two ways. The biggest gaming reveal of the year, as well as the biggest gaming gathering, I guess you could say now. Not really a convention, just an award show, but yeah, some big stuff happening this month, December 2023. Just a little bit over a day ago, the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer dropped and is basically Rockstar's biggest trailer ever already. More than the last 12 years on the more views than the last 12 years on the GTA 5 trailer, which is kind of nuts. Um, really nuts, actually. And you knew the hype was going to be big, and GTA 5 was, one of the best selling or the most profitable media properties ever, just on its own, not even counting any of the other games in the series. Just largely based off of the tale of the online portion and that funding or motivating further sales, as well as the microtransactions, the shark cards, all that. And now it is on track to be just the biggest thing ever by far. If views translate into sales at all, which I would assume to some extent they do, even though I have no data on that. Yeah, it was a short 90-second trailer. Pretty, very pretty, as Rockstar always makes it, which is, to be expected. Some things were confirmed for sure, like the Vice City thing. I do like how the six is the VI and it's going back to Vice City. That's nice. And then the two main characters, the woman and the man, uh, confirmed again. And yeah, really not much else shown besides some, just clips of, different parts of the city and environmental stuff with people and kind of playing fun at some of the kind of TikTok sort of memes in recent years. So it was pretty neat. People are gonna freak out about it no matter what it was. Uh, I am personally more interested in seeing what, because I knew that with a Rockstar game, you're gonna get like some of the best graphics in animation specifically on the market, and it's currently I don't know how much gameplay that was like actual in game. Of course, there was no gameplay in the trailer, but how much in game footage that was versus pre rendered. I would assume most of it was in game, and it looks very good. And from a technical perspective, I would assume it would ship not very buggy as Rockstar games usually do relative to other big releases. But in terms of their design and specifically their progression and mission design in recent years has kind of stagnated a bit. Their narrative design and their writing is always top class, but they're specifically like their mission design and their progression design have kind of just stagnated. And I wonder if that's on purpose for approachability reasons to not have those, different mission types or different progression vectors in the game. There are some more in multiplayer than there are in single player as they've expanded on it over time, but no real distinct uh, elements that you see in lots of other live service games. And I'd be interested to see if they plan on innovating that way at all, and see any use in that in the sixth one, because honestly, they don't have to do anything and they could just keep. Maybe that's part of the identity of the series is that there's no progression. The mission design kind of sucks now. Maybe they just go ahead with that, and it's like, well, people on social media always complain about games focusing on graphics and that potentially limiting how good games can be, and the limiting the game design part of it, and Rockstar just sold 100 million copies in 90 seconds on a trailer with no gameplay. So, what does that say, right? But I think definitely in the single player, seeing what they can do with storytelling, if they can do a lot of interesting stuff like they did with Red Dead 2, really still cutscene heavy, but a lot deeper characters and deeper emotional connections between characters was pretty interesting, as well as kind of just the world in Red Dead feeling very alive, even relative to the cities of the older GTA games, and how they can carry that stuff forward, as well as possible any failures they learned from on Red Dead Online that just wasn't able. It never got off the ground, uh, and what they can learn from all their success on GTA 5 and just carry that forward, hopefully. And what stuff they've learned that they can build into the game now, since it's had such a long tail from streamers not repopularizing, but popularizing different aspects of it, like RP and like different game modes specifically that people have created and kind of interacted with, not through the developer's intentions, but just kind of spontaneously generating through the community. I would be interested to see how much they integrate that with their designs and with what they plan on doing for GTA Online. And I feel like that's and how they transfer stuff too, like Overwatch to Overwatch 2 or Counter-Strike to Counter-Strike 2, how they plan on merging those and getting people's, there's going to be a big investment there, and people are going to have to make it. People are going to make it either way, but it's about how happy they're going to be when they make it. And speaking of the award show that they're probably in 2 years when it launches going to win the game of the year at, is the Game Awards, and it's happening once again in December this year for like the ninth year in a row now, I think it is. Really getting better in recent years with and this is another thing in Rockstar games, how they're going to deal with the controversial aspects of it that make the series, it make it work in this kind of new climate. That'll be interesting to see how they approach that, because there are people on both sides who will get angry either way. But the Game Awards over time has gotten better at being more inclusive and better and less kind of stereotypical gamer and making fun at stereotypical gamer and then making fun of those gamers. The old clips of the Game Awards are really, really nuts. But it's definitely been getting better with that in recent years, as well as toning down the advertising or making the advertising bits like actually funny when Jeff is presenting them on stage, but replacing a lot of that stuff with trailers and kind of having a pseudo E3 type situation at the end of the year, where it's kind of just this generic conference instead of and not necessarily people coming to talk on stage, but just showing trailers, which is how several companies are kind of doing it nowadays, where they're just showing trailer after trailer, and it's working out pretty well. I've been enjoying them more in recent years, and the awards they tend to get right a lot of the time, a lot more than I feel like people give them credit for necessarily. And Jeff, as always, has been a really, really good host, and if there's gonna be a dude who's the face of all this stuff, it's got to be the guy that has been doing this stuff since he was a kid in the 90s, trying to run award shows for this type of thing, and just doing documentaries and journalism on games for so long. So I'm really looking forward to it this year. There's, you know, some awards where you're like, oh, that's gonna go there, but then there are a lot where it's kind of up in the air, and it'll be pretty fun to see. But yeah, the thing everybody shows up for is the trailers, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think developers do get awards, and while they call some out in like the pre-show or whatever on the side, it's it is what it is. That's kind of show business, as they say, and there are other awards too that don't have the show aspect of it that get a lot of recognition too, just not this mass wide popular kind of representation here and just how many people are viewing it at one time. But I do feel like they have a good balance. It shouldn't be 50-50, I don't think, but a good balance of respecting the developers and honoring their accomplishments and showing cool shit that people wanted to and to see. So I like this kind of 6 month period we've started getting recent years with the Game Awards at the end of the year, and then E3 in the middle of the next year, or pseudo E3, where everybody kind of has their stuff spaced out all over June, except at the end of the year you get it all in this one day, which is really really nice, and I'm really looking forward to it. And it's kind of like the biggest conference of the year now, because you're going to see all kinds of publishers and all kinds of developers there, more so than any one of the individual June presentations that we have now. So looking forward to that, hoping things go well during the development of GTA 6, because they're still real deep in development. They got 2 years left. So looking forward to both of those, and yeah, it'll be interesting.